Hey everyone, it's Dr. Connie here. Welcome to my podcast, Mind Your Health. So, as we go deeper into the conversation of the gut health, I want to bring to your attention all about the gut brain connection. We call this the gut brain axis in functional medicine or holistic realm. There is an increasing amount of scientific knowledge and research that validates the connection between the two. And today I want to uncover sort of what you can do to improve this, as well as to really understand its role so that you can prime your body to do all the things that you're doing right now to have amplified effects, but do it from a place of knowing that you're priming the body in a proper state of being first, and then tackling all the doings that you're doing through your diet and supplements and all the things to really truly influence your gut health so that you can ultimately be completely free from those pesky gut symptoms. After all, that's really what we all want, right? So we all understand the importance of our immune system when it comes to our health. But did you know that 70 to 80% of your immune system is or resides in your gut? There is an intricate interplay between the gut, the intestinal microbiome, which is the gut microbiome, like the probiotics and really the inoculation of different microbiome. And we really need to understand that in our gut, in our mucosal layers of our body parts, that includes our nostrils, for example, and our gut lining, the whole gut lining from the stomach all the way down into the small intestine and then the large intestine, we have lots of microbiomes. Some of them are supposed to be there and they're good for us, and then others not so much. And this whole concept of us having cravings and having psychological symptoms and such, like foggy brain, depression, and anxiety, all the things that, as well as the symptoms that sort of comes up for us, those are all in large part due to these microbiome imbalances, so to speak. Too much of good, too much of bad, not enough of diversity are all factors present or that affects our gut lining and the microbiome. And it is in that intestinal microbiome and the immune system that has that interplay. And scientists and researchers now understand that the gut microbiome ultimately affects our systemic immunity, affecting all body parts. And I've included the bibliography or the research study if you wanted to go deeper into the study in this blog, if you visit the link below. The impact of nutrition is well understood in wellness and the medical space, but we often dismiss the link between our brain and the gut to affect our digestive system. It's not enough to take in the right foods void of the proper priming required to understand how our thoughts and emotions affect our digestive tract, right? And this is what I mean. Often referred to as the gut-brain axis, it is a bi-directional communication between the central and our enteric nervous system, linking both the emotional and our intellectual or cognitive processing centers of the brain with our gut functions. It's the interplay between the two. And bidirectional means we can have an input or effect or impact from the inside out as well as from the outside in. And recent advances in research validates the importance of gut microbiome influencing these interactions. The interaction is, like I said, bidirectional, from the brain to the gut and from the gut to the brain through the neural, endocrine, and the immune system. Despite the in-depth understanding of our physiological systems and its interplay, we often look to addressing the most obvious and tangible, which is really typically to tackle the foods that we consume with respect to our health. And that's the easiest thing and the most obvious thing to do. But as a practitioner, I can tell you, no matter how perfect I can get my patients to eat, it's usually not enough. And if you're listening to this and you've had some gut microbiome or gut issues or symptoms that just won't go away with proper lifestyle things, and you're doing everything to perfection, this is why. It's important to understand that bodies are constantly communicating with our environment bidirectionally as well, right? From the gut to the brain, brain to the gut, as well as from the inside out, outside in, okay? Which is both the inside out and the outside in. So much of the focus from the outside is in, or so much of the interventions today are from the outside in. We almost assume people like me, the experts or the doctors, know best about what you should eat, with very little regard and respect to your own internal environment. The biofeedback mechanism or feedback mechanism present in the body is communicating with you, not to the doctors. They can't study you because your interactions internally, all the chemical, biochemical, all the interactions within is housed within. The thermostat resides within you. There's no way anybody else can study that. We can make assumptions and group them into systems of autoimmune diseases, cancers, and cardiometabolic processes or dysfunctions and such, and make predictions on the different symptoms that come up, assuming certain things. But again, those assumptions are mostly incorrect unless we involve you as the person receiving the biofeedback from your own body. And unless you can learn these little intricate messaging system, it's impossible for the practitioners to really truly know. We can guide the process, but we can't be you affecting the process, if you know what I'm talking about, because only you reside in your own body. For both optimal health and healing from sickness, the effort too needs to have a fine balance between the inside out, you affecting that change, as well as to be guided from somebody like me from the outside in. While inside out is the ability for one to listen to the feedback of the body it's giving you, what it needs is really being communicated from your body to you and you only. All we're doing from the outside in approach as the experts and the doctors or the books that you read, we're supportive of you, the one, to amplify the receptivity to your own mental, emotional, and physical faculties. We want to guide you into really facilitating that amplified feedback mechanism so that you know what to do with those messages instead of not knowing how to read it, expecting somebody else to really interpret what it's sending you. It's clearly sending you messages, whether it be through pain, foggy brain, digestive issues, discomforts. We often look to other people or other external factors to fix it, right? So this is what I want to bring your attention to, really, to receive that feedback, to know exactly what you should do with it, because there's definitely things that you can do to change and alter those feedback mechanisms to properly give it what it needs to nip it in the bud. And it's going to require you at some point on your healing journey. Otherwise, you will always be living with that pesky symptom, not being able to be able to control it or nip it in the bud once and for all. Okay. As a clinician for years, three decades really, I operated under the guise of a healer to my patients, when in reality, I can't heal anybody else without their own intention to heal. Okay. After 3 decades in this health and wellness space and the medical space, I now understand my role. It's clear. I'm simply a guide to get you to tap into your own healing abilities. And you have to recognize you have to step into your own body with the intention to heal. The medical system today operates mainly for acute symptom control. Its role is to place a Band-Aid to immediately get the wound, for example, to stop its symptoms to regain the function of the body. Okay. The real problem is that once the acuteness of your injury or your illness is taken care of, patients are never taught to continue their healing to heal completely. We're taught to place another Band-Aid through medication, yet place another Band-Aid. And then when other symptoms that, come up, then place another Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid might look different each time. For example, using different medications, for example, but it's never the approach that really nips the core root cause in the bud. We never really fully understand, right? And while putting the Band-Aid on an oozing wound may stop the bleeding, it doesn't help to heal the wound completely to regain your function and your own health. Although we live in a highly evolved living conditions, our healthy habits collectively are truly declining. As we have technological breakthroughs, our lives have become dangerously unbalanced. We're so much in our heads and not in our bodies. How many of you, raise your hands, work seated in a desk looking into a computer screen every day? I do so, and I'm a healthcare advocate. And it's inevitable for me to sit. So I have to be very intentional about setting up systems in my own life through my own lifestyle to pay attention to my movement patterns, to facilitate my body, to get into my body more often, to be aligned with it and give it what it needs. Living connected to the body requires us to hunt and gather foods as we did in the Paleolithic ages for years, walking to and from places, which is far from staring into the computer screens all day, right? We used to have the healthy habits built into our day-to-day living. It's not so today. So more and more increasing number of people are getting sicker and sicker, and we're looking for more convenient ways of nipping our symptoms in the bud. While it may regain function temporarily, it doesn't necessarily nip it in the bud. And the more we nurture these symptoms, the sicker our body's going to get. And so all this to say, I want you to know that all the things are weighing against us in our efforts to develop our health. So we need to be really cognizant of regaining the function of our body. Okay? Because so many people have numerous issues and symptoms that even the most advanced medical technology can't even figure out. So we're left to really do the best we can by taking a Band-Aid approach, when in reality, our very lifestyle perpetuates these symptoms. And so unless we wake up and smell the coffee, as we say, and recognize that it is in our lifestyle approaches that we do habitually every single day, unless we change those things and be intentional about creating health, we are going to be subject to more and more health decline. And it's really not your fault. Truth is that collectively as a society, we're not typically taught two of the most vital functions that we need in order for us to succeed in life. And those two things are basic. It's healthy nutrition and really healthy finance. Unless you're, again, intentional about it, whatever we pick up in our formative years, it's what we are taught, right? Our kids are learning from us today. What we're left with as adults is, when it comes to health and wealth, is what we grew up watching our parents do, what you're demonstrating to your kids right now. So how can you change the course of your health and your future generations for your kids so that you remain in control and live towards vitality and health is what this podcast and my programs are all about. You must be intentional about being healthy by taking a bidirectional approach to being from the inside out while doing from the outside in. It's all good to learn all the things from the advancing technology and information that we share. But unless we're being the person we can by priming our bodies to take in and amplify those efforts, it's always going to be partial at best. As we understand now, epigenomics that we talk about, where our genetic disposition matches our environment to be influenced, it's also bidirectional. It states that our genes are also influenced and turned on and off by our own perceptions and thoughts, as well as the environmental influences. There are certain things from the environment, like the chemical usage and all the toxins that are out there that are slowly mutating our genes in that way. That's chemical. But there's in large part a component that we dismiss a lot when we're talking about health and wellness is our own perceptions that we bring into the equation, our thoughts and emotions that we choose to feel every single day, which is in our own control, no matter what the circumstance is what really affects the genes to be turned on and off. The good genes to stay on versus the bad genes that cause cancer, autoimmunity, all the things that can go wrong can stay off based on what we choose to think and feel every single day. This means that we have a responsibility to become aware of our role in our own health versus constantly looking outside of ourselves for answers to the solutions that we hold the key to. The key is in your hands for your own health. And that's what I need you to really understand. That coupled with everything that we do, me as a guide to show you all the things, as well as all the other excellent practitioners out there, it's only it's only at best 50% of the equation. Once you realize that you hold the keys to your own health, you get to step into your own power and influence and create the health and life you want to live versus living at the mercy of your circumstances, which is what we all subconsciously tend to do. This is a powerful shift that I want you to be introduced to. It's scientifically understood, but many gloss over the substantial implications of this to actually change the way you are living your own life and applying all the things daily. Your body, you guys, is capable of so much more than just being subject to the habits of repeating the same thing over and over again. So if you're not happy with where you are in your health and you're really struggling with undiagnosed symptoms that you know that if it persists, it's going to go ultimately into illness, you need to do certain things to be more present in the moment to create the future from a blanket state. So I came up with 5 things that you can be doing every single day to influence your health and take that responsibility for your own health. Number 1 is self-awareness. It's more than self-awareness. I want to teach you how you can apply this. How do you learn to be self-aware? Well, I call this the self-awareness download. In order to change something, you've got to become aware of your current tendencies. So being metaphysical and taking a look at how you tend to react to things instead of reacting to certain things, causing and wreaking havoc in your central nervous system, as well as your autonomic nervous system, you're going to recognize that your reactiveness to certain things are a habit. And the best strategy to do this is to write down everything that comes up when it comes up. When you get charged with an emotion, you'll find yourself reacting to something. And immediately what typically happens to us is when we're in the heat of the moment, we get angry or curse or do something bad. And we recognize what it is, and you start to jot down all the things that came up for you that caused that reaction. And when you take a moment to jot down what came up and why you reacted a certain way, go deeper than, just reacting to it, you become self-aware. And I want you to get in the habit of doing this without judgment, resentment, or self-hatred, because that's what we do. Oh, damn it, I did it to myself again. I'm this, I'm that. And these are the constant narrations. It's what we say to ourselves all the time, and that can be so toxic. And it's just under our conscious radar, meaning it's subconscious. We're not even aware of them because it happens so immediately. So I want you to get in the habit of observing yourself in scenarios and be present to it without judgment, and learn your habitual tendencies in any given situation, especially those where you're emotionally charged, and choose rather to have like a little notebook that you carry around. It's just a download notebook, for example, and just write down all the things that came up for you. So you can be just aware. Okay, that's all I ask, is just to be aware. A lot of the times we think, oh, she asked me to do this and therefore there has to be something. No, it's just being aware. It's just a download, just to put something that's going on inside out. And that's all it takes, is self-awareness. Okay, that's number one. Number two is to let go of your past. You're programmed to think, feel, and be a certain way without even thinking about it, like I said. It's automated. And that's why habits are so powerful. It's habitual, easy, and it's convenient. It happens in the moment and you move on. But if you're struggling in your life, it's time to reset and decide to reprogram yourself to be present now and to create a healthy future. So letting go of the past, once you become aware of certain things that really come up for you, you start to let go and decide to cut off what happened in the past. You're going to decide how you're going to go forward with it in the moment. But it has to happen by you letting go and separating yourself of who you were in the past. Let go of your past self. All the traumas and all the negativity and all the emotional things that you subconsciously are attached to, we need to let go. And decide means we cut off. We decide to be who we are in the present moment and start being attached to rather your future self. Okay. Second is let go. First is be aware. Second is let go. Third is to breathe. You just breathe. When you become aware, you breathe and feel what you need to feel rather than resisting it. Because you know what? What you resist persists, and it's going to be that thing. It's just like anything in life. And the more you think, oh, there's an elephant in the room, the elephant just persists. And it's something that we resist and it keeps persisting. It's a carrot cake we want so bad. We resist to wanting it, but the more you resist, it persists. So you just allow and you breathe into it and just take account of what's there and just let it be and don't resist. And you can not resist by just breathing. So I'm telling you to be aware and then giving you an action step to actually download by writing it down. Second thing I told you to do is to let go of the past by being aware of what your tendency is and then attaching yourself to the future self rather than the past, right? Third thing is behavior. I'm giving you something to do is to breathe. When you become aware, you just choose to feel. Don't resist and just choose to feel the very thing that you need to feel. Fourth thing is to move your body and connect your body with the breath. And this is best done through the practice of yoga. Yoga is your opportunity for growth and awareness. It's great. It's a great tool to become aware, let go, and reprogram, right? You become aware, you let go of your past self, and then you reprogram yourself to the one you want to be, your future self, okay, the new you. And when you move, you're able to involve your body through metabolic energy that really circulates the energy, moves the energy that can be produced and eliminate the things that you're holding on to. And you do that through the movement. And it's very practical and it makes perfect logical sense to move, right? And then finally, you want to be intentional, right? So it's not enough to be intentional. I hate it when people say be intentional about certain things. Well, intentional journaling. Be intentional about everything in your life. Know what you want in life rather than moving forward and being reactive to your life. Taking a pause to write down what you want and then creating that every single day, right? We're not moving big mountains. Nobody builds Rome in one day. It happens little by little, and it's you being intentional every single day. Even a small step forward is still a step forward. Versus thinking like, oh, I didn't get there. I didn't get from point A to point B. Most people think about that gap, the bridge that's there, and then they think to themselves, that's impossible. They never move. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to be intentional by journaling about it. Actually write them down, right? And it doesn't even take 20 minutes, you guys. 5 minutes of journaling something. Get in the habit of it, right? And we're moving forward. As long as you're moving forward, be content and be intentional. Know that you're doing the right things. The five things again is self-awareness download by writing things, being self-aware, and letting go of your past self, as well as to breathe in, not resist, but allow, and then move your body through the breath so that you can improve your ability to let go by moving through and moving the energy from the negative to the positive, as well as finally intentional journaling, being intentional about it and focusing. Repeating these 5 steps will dramatically change your life and allow you to heal your gut. I promise you. These strategies prime the body to optimally receive whatever you receive in life, assimilate it, absorb what you want, and then to finally eliminate whatever you don't want for optimal physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And that is key to healing your gut, knowing that that key is in your hands. I hope it helped you. I know it's a big strokes approach. And if you follow and subscribe to my podcast, I'll go a little bit deeper, sort of really tying the connecting the mysticism, the practicality, and the sage wisdom with the scientific evidence to really connect the dots so that you can live the lifestyle to enhance in every given moment, to take power back into your own control, to amplify everything that you do as you be healthy or be the healthiest version of yourself. It's a God-given right that we all have to be healthy, you guys. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below. You can also follow me at Dr. Connie Chung on Instagram as well as TikTok, as well as we have a upcoming 5-day challenge, Heal Your Gut Challenge. If you want to opt in, please click the link below and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.